Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're ABC Consultants, and we're here to talk about why we think that Mesosphere should open source some of their technology in order to highlight their competitive advantages in the marketplace.
We're going to start by discussing our company background and how we came to be, and the value and revenue of Mesosphere, as well as the current issue they're facing as a firm, and the recommendations and evaluations we could provide for this firm to hopefully convince you to invest in Mesosphere.
Starting with our background, our core product is Mesosphere DCOS, an operating system tailored for data centers. We allow companies to easily deploy, operate, and scale workload across multiple servers, letting them to control operation into one server without risks of crashing.
There are three current issues with the data processing environment at this point in time. The first one is data center mismanagement. Operators in the data centers are very conservative people. This leads to very low server utilization, as operators are maximizing the maximum capability of their servers. This could cause inefficiency and increased costs for these data centers. Second is hardware-intensive softwares. Currently, softwares that are specialized at data processing are very taxing towards the hardware. While running one instance itself is already a problem, you can imagine how many multiple instances of those softwares could be taxing to the hardware. And lastly, scalability issues. Big data companies such as Twitter and Airbnb nowadays are allocating huge workloads, but they're doing it manually. There are currently no automated ways to do this efficiently.
Apache Meso, a software for automated cluster management, component of the DCOS system, allows the system to manage and partition workloads automatically.
DCOS hid underlying Mesos technology, so to encourage the adoption of Mesos, Elastic Mesos was released first. This allowed customers time to get comfortable with the new technology before committing to purchasing a more robust DCOS. It helped understand what customers were using it for, what they needed and what they didn't need. Their feedback helped inform how to develop the DCOS.
The setup of Apache Mesos is very specific in contrast to other traditional schedulers due to its two-level scheduler architecture structure, which makes it easier to operate, manage, and broaden. It also makes it very complex to handle, modify, and improve, as there is true infrastructure to manage and only a few know how to update it correctly. Indeed, Apache Mesos is composed with two defined and complementary layers that are forming its whole structure. The first layer is the Mesos infrastructure, the baseline which handles easy and low-level infrastructure operations. It is processing the basic structure that every application using Apache Mesos are sharing in order to work, and it is the core of Mesos. The other layer is the framework, the one on which the application using Mesos are actually running. It is a structure that is treating the own operation and logic of application. It is the most complex layer as it is handling the high-level operations.
There are several benefits for using the Mesosphere. The first topic is the multiple workload support. Mesos can support different types of distributed workloads like the container orchestration, the analytics, the stateful big data technologies, and even for some different types of operating systems. Topics: massive scaling. Mesos was designed for operations at very large scales. Mesos can easily scale to tens of thousands of nodes. It is the extensible and the future-proof architecture. Mesos has two-level architecture allows it to run the existing and new distributed technologies on the same platform. The organizations can easily introduce and adopt new technologies as applications or frameworks, and it can include any application-specific squelching and operating logic. It makes Mesos a true future-proof platform for distributed technologies.
We're going to discuss what Mesosphere has previously done to create value for their products, and then how that value has generated revenue.
So one factor which contributed to them adding value on top of Apache Mesos was the limited number of people who knew how to use Mesos. This meant that if people wanted to use the program to its full potential, they would need to use the services of these individuals, thus making it easier for them to turn Mesos into a company. This factor, along with the fact that companies would be able to pack multiple microservices and processes into a single server, and so reduce their costs and enhance their server utilization. We see this factor adding value as Twitter asked them to build a Mesos platform for them, as they saw the value in its use. Launching Elastic Mesos before the main product enabled consumers to get a taster for the main product. Although tech companies were able to build their own features on top of Mesos, they would validate and publicize the power of Mesos. For example, after Elastic Mesos was released, the downloads for Mesos grew by approximately 1,000%.
The two main revenue streams Mesosphere have used center upon selling services to companies and negotiating long-term contracts. Through negotiating long-term contracts, they were able to create sustained revenue into the future, and by selling their services such as DCOS or Apache Mesos to companies such as Airbnb, Netflix and Twitter, they were able to get their product out there and have it validated by a number of different companies. The other two minor streams they used centered upon data centers, an app store for the data center, as in similar to iTunes or the App Store, and selling premium or proprietary features on top of their DCOS.
A software as a service approach is good. The customers said that it was too much to pay and they didn't want to hook up the SaaS product to their infrastructure. Providing Elastic Mesos for free, despite it only being a semi-functional version of Mesosphere, might discourage clients to eventually buy our data center operating system in the future. We feel that giving customers a fully fledged DCOS could overwhelm them, and the complexity of running a new operating system for their data centers may discourage them to adopt the system.
Another issue with Mesosphere is our diverse stakeholders. Our company stakeholders include data scientists, developers, data center operators, and Elastic Mesos open source community. Each stakeholders have their own requirements and needs from the DCOS. We also learned that Elastic Mesos has grown and evolved exponentially from its basic foundation from the help of the open source community, and we hope to replicate the same for DCOS. Another issue is in growth. Thankfully, we have obtained deals and contracts with dozens of different companies. However, we believe that at this rate, our growth for the future will slow down as we're limited to the big players in the industry who mostly already run our products. New companies, which could be potential stakeholders for us, are not able to utilize our product due to the high price tag associated with the DCOS.
Our first recommendation is investing in cloud computing, as the recent emergence of Amazon Web Services and other cloud-based operators offer a new market opportunity. Mesosphere has a number of competitive advantages over previous entrants into the market, the first being the ability to offer non-locking contracts, providing a two-way relationship between businesses. The second is that customers of Mesosphere don't run the risk of directly competing with them, like in the case of Netflix and Amazon. Furthermore, Mesosphere has been a proven provider of efficient, low-cost data center products. Using the firm's positive brand image and superior product knowledge will see them take over an untapped market.
Developers from Docker are faithful to them as they are unaware of the technology within Mesosphere. Hence, our second recommendation is to open source Elastic Mesos to provide a taster of the technology that is available with Mesosphere. Clients currently already have free access to Elastic Mesos, but open sourcing it will provide an opportunity for developers to see and be able to develop similar code. This could potentially win over some developers from Docker, making it more likely for them to recommend Mesosphere. We decided not to open source the DCOS as it could potentially do more harm than good. Making the whole code available to developers may result in them creating similar software which could rival Mesosphere. Hence, by only open sourcing Elastic Mesos, we are limiting this threat.
There is a need to emphasize our competitive advantages in the market. For example, although Kubernetes continues to grow, it can only run Docker containers, whereas Mesosphere can run several cases. Marketing our superior capabilities alongside open sourcing will also allow us to reach a wider base of developers and attract them to our DCOS.
This is a reflection on our group project and all the 4 issues we had during this group project. So the first one was arranging meeting times and location. It was very hard to find time when everyone could meet up because we are 7. So we had to meet on Sundays for hours and at the eve of the Chinese New Year. And sometimes we had to find like room where we could like record. It was really hard. The second one was finding every members. We had some issues with one member because we couldn't find her. We had to go to the underground office and it took us 3 weeks to find her. And we had someone random on our group chat because we thought it was her, but it wasn't in the end.
Number 3, we found it really difficult coming up with recommendations for Mesosphere, seeing as though they were such an advanced company and they had such a big competitive advantage in the market. Coming up with new innovative ideas was quite difficult. And the final difficulty we had was creativity. We weren't really sure what to do for our presentation, but in the end we decided doing a pitch would be a good balance between being informative but also being creative.
Yeah, get whenever you're ready.
Okay, so this is the reflection on our group project and all the problems we had. So we had like 3 main issues. The first one was finding
Four.
What?
4 issues.
4 main issues.
4 issues, you said 3.
I said 4.
No, you said
Just keep going, just keep going, just keep going.
Yeah, you can keep going.
Yeah.
Just start again, yeah.
Okay, I start again. Okay.
Yeah.
So this no.